Well, we've been watching a race very closely outside of Detroit, Michigan, where John Dingell has been serving since before the founding of the country, and his father since before that. So the seat has been handed down from Father of the Son some 50 years ago, I think, or thereabouts. Dingell has been a hardline liberal, with a few very minor exceptions over the decades, and he has a very serious challenge from a superb patriot, a Reaganite, a constitutionalist, Dr. Rob Steele. How are you, my friend?
Doing very well, Mark. A lot of excitement. Volunteers are excited. I'm fired up. Everybody's excited everywhere we go. Signs up in and out of the district. It's been very exciting and amazing. Big rallies out at the university. Tea Party Express has come in for us tomorrow night. Sarah Palin just endorsed us, and we're very excited about the whole thing.
I'm guessing it's a very, very tight race, isn't it?
Yep, I think we're within the margin of error. It's all going to be about turnout and who gets out the vote. I've got to deal with Ann Arbor, where, it's a liberal Democrat. The rest of the district is traditionally a conservative Democrat. And, of course, as typical of most districts, the independents are the largest number. And, of course, we're working hard for the independents and soft Democrats.
Now, is a lot of money pouring in? Dingell's been around a long time. He's probably calling in every favor he can think of right now.
Well, he is, certainly. I mean, we've raised dramatically more money on the individual front than he has. Of course, he has the PAC money going for him, but he's raised considerably less than he has in the past. And, we've gotten over 5,000 individual donations from every state in the union. People are paying attention. They understand that it's not right for someone to be there 55 years, especially when it's inherited from your father for a total of 78 years. I mean, it's a pretty impressive situation.
And he votes down the line Obama, down the line left wing, Obamacare and stimulus and cap and trade and all the rest, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, he voted for cap and trade here in the state of Michigan. He called it one of the greatest taxes in everywhere and or ever. And of course, he left the chambers before the vote on whether or not to rescind the proposed tax increases on January 1st, and that's a killer for our district, $947 million in the 15th district alone. And as you know, Mark, Michigan has done very poorly over the last 7 or 8 years, and they're ready for a change as someone who understands how to build a business and create jobs, and that's certainly something that Congressman Dingell doesn't know, having been in Washington, D.C. since he was 7 years old.
Well, here's the thing. Cap and trade will be the final, in the neck knife for the auto industry, I think. I hope the UAW workers and their families in your district understand this, that cap and trade is aimed at the automobile industry. It is aimed at the fossil fuel businesses. It is aimed at trucking. It is aimed directly at them. And here you have a guy who voted for it.
Yeah, and he's, Congressman Dingell's always been looked at as the savior of the auto industry, yet Thomas Friedman from the New York Times called him the single legislator most responsible for the collapse of Detroit and the chief pallbearer for the big three auto in Detroit. And that's what's happened. There are fewer UAW workers in the United States today than in 1940. The auto industry in the total in the United States hasn't gotten that much smaller. It just left Michigan. And unfortunately, despite his power in Washington, it hasn't been good for Michigan, of course. We've been a huge donor state. And now all of our young, highly educated people are chasing that money that he sends off to Washington, D.C., and they chase it to other states, and now Michigan's aging faster than Florida.
Well, the thing is, big government is destructive of industry. It's destructive of innovation. It's destructive of jobs. And, I would hope the folks in and around Detroit and all throughout Michigan, I think they do, see what it's gotten them. What it's gotten them, as you say. The problem in Michigan is the exportation of hardworking citizens to other states, the exportation of business to other states, and the destruction of the main industries of the state. And John Dingell has supported every damn policy that raises taxes. He may be against CAFE standards per se, but if you're for cap and trade, that's even more destructive than CAFE standards of the automobile industry.
Well, and the real key in the auto industry is he's been in lockstep with the union leadership, which is, of course, out of lockstep with the rank and file. In fact, I have great UAW rank and file support. One of unionconservatives.com you might want to check out is a bunch of union people that sprung out of our campaign who are just trying to say to the union leadership, look, it's not 100% Democrat here in the rank and file. It's fairly close to evenly split, kind of 45-55 range. And I hear every single day in the office, I'm still working a day a week, I hear every day in the office from two different groups. One from the group that says I voted for him 25 times, but not any longer. And from the auto workers that say the leadership of the union and the auto executive we look at as the same. They're back there with their big salaries and multiple pensions, and we're losing our house. We've lost our job. Our kids have left the state, and they've been against us. And now they realize it, and they're excited and ready for a real opportunity to vote for someone who wants to keep the capital in the state, who wants to keep the intellectual capital in the state, and move on to the next success.
Well, you know, Rob, a lot of these union folks are the Reagan Democrats, even with the National Education Association. They give 99 cents out of every dollar to left-wing Democrats. But I've seen surveys where 35% of their membership are fairly conservative Republicans. I see the same with the steel workers and the coal miners, the cops, the firefighters, and yet the tops of these unions, particularly the international and the national leadership, they go hard left, which obviously is destructive of their membership, as you're pointing out.
Yeah, it's been an absolute disaster for Michigan, and the easiest way to measure that is to look at our representation in Congress. During Congressman Dingell's time in office, we've gone from 19 representatives. Next cycle, we'll have 14, possibly 13. And when you look at the measure of a state's standing within the country, within the 50 states, and whether it's growing and competing or whether it's shrinking and exporting, you look at the number of congressional seats, and we've gone from 19 to 14, and that's the ultimate measure of the policies of the state that have been enacted. And Congressman Dingell, despite his seniority, has punished Michigan. Even while he was chair of Energy and Commerce, the most powerful committee in Congress, the state of Michigan ranked 46th out of 50 states in return on federal dollars, according to the United States Census Bureau. And I know a lot of your listeners think, hey, great, keep him in there and send that money to us. But I got to tell you, obviously, overall for the country, these policies are destructive as well. And absolutely, obviously, I want your listeners to support me at robsteeleforcongress.com, because when you get people like me elected and take it, the shift couldn't be more seismic between someone like John Dingell and someone like me, who's 52, fourth-generation University of Michigan graduate, who understands technology, has been accountable in their career, and understands that you make decisions, you take responsibility for them, and you fix the problem. You don't kick the can down the road. I mean, as a heart doctor, I'm up in the middle of the night opening up people's arteries, and I have to say, look, I'm responsible. I'm the captain here. If things aren't going well, I have to fix it. My accountability is within a few minutes, 50 feet down the hall, with a family sitting there waiting to hear what happened. And we have a bunch of career politicians who don't read the bill, who don't follow the same laws we do. They vote on in the middle of the night. Nobody knows what's in it, and there's no accountability. I mean, this is what just absolutely has to end. We have to have a new Speaker of the House, because the Speaker, ironclad, controls what comes up. And that is the sea change we need, is a new Speaker of the House and new committee chairs.
Well, I think it would be a great election night if included in those who are defeated are John Dingell, and a serious, thoughtful, sharp guy like you becomes a fresh face and voice in the United States Congress. It's Rob Steele with an E on the end. RobSteeleforCongress.com. Let me ask you one final question.
Yes.
I'm assuming he's going to be able to run a lot of ads this week, and are you going to be able to counter any of that?
We've been up on network. We are bumping right up to $1 million raised in individual funds, which is twice what he's raised in individual funds. And we're doing this, because people are motivated and want him out. And we're buying as much ad time as we can. It's almost all gone, frankly. But he's had negative ads up against me. And, in fact, one of the big local channels here in town, in the Detroit News, have both run articles or reports last night and this morning talking about how his ads completely are misrepresenting the facts against me, and of course that's hurting him. And we're running a campaign that's, based on moving forward and facts only, and people appreciate that because they're tired of people running away from their record and just trying to smear everybody rather than having an intellectual discussion about what is right and what is wrong, what's going to fix the problems, and what's going to hold us back when we have to compete with the rest of the world.
Well, I hope the folks that are listening on our various affiliates out there and on satellite and so forth will give you a hand, because you would be an absolutely superb addition to the House of Representatives, and we really need to dig deep and dig out these old left-wing bulls who are never going to change. They're going to stay there till their last days, voting to destroy the future for my children and yours. It's Rob Steele with an E on the end. RobSteeleForCongress.com. You can find that on MarkLevinShow.com or any of my social sites. Rob, you're terrific, and we wish you all the best, my friend. Good luck.
Yep, thank you very much, and have the listeners here from WJR go to Monroe tomorrow night for the Tea Party Express at La Pleasance exit, 8 o'clock. And I've got Bill Bennett coming in for a private event tomorrow. We have a lot of excitement here. It's going to be great.
Well, he's a wonderful guy. Good luck, my friend. You take care.